Hello, welcome to South Park Snow Day. This video will be showing you the basics of everything you need to know about South Park Snow Day as a game. And what all you need to get used to if you want to run it, and what all strats you need to learn. All their backups, and how everything works. So, let's begin by what is quite probably the most important glitch in the whole run, if not the whole game, angle storage. I want to hop straight into this immediately, as it's a very simple glitch, and the only real requirement you need is you need to have at least finished chapter 3, because you need this axe weapon. So, how does angle storage work? Well, you start off by finding a sloped surface, similar to this. It does not matter the angle, just as long as you can walk on this slanted surface. Now, you want to start to hold up a charge attack, but you do not want to fully charge it, as then your angle was not stored. What you want to do is partly charge it, midway through this charge, jump, and release, and start swinging to gain height. And it should look like that. You can also do this with downwards angles, but this is not useful anywhere.
Honestly, that sounds worse than dealing with this literal shitstorm.
A few other things you could do. And I'll demonstrate on this chair. You can kind of like leave hitboxes behind for a tiny fraction of a second, as there is an instant transmission bug within the game, where whenever you roll into corners, the game takes a second for you to realize that you're actually in a completely separate area. Now, because I'm covering New Game Plus, some other things I want to cover are the optimal perks, weapons, and powers. While the ranged weapon can be debated, I personally like to stick with the wand, as it is the highest DPS solution in case you get a noodled card, which is a enemy bullshit card that can completely stop your melee weapon from being any useful. Now, something you can do with the ranged weapons is you can actually do a double jump glitch, which so far has not really proven useful anywhere in the run, but it is something you can do, and it only works on specific surfaces, such as this house here and this area. And the way it works is you want to aim, jump, and then aim and jump again, all in quick succession, and it should look like this. You'll notice that you gain an extra jump on the wall, which you actually cannot do.
Survive this, I'm totally kicking your ass, Cartman. What did I do? I'm kicking his ass first.
And the reason we choose Axe is because it is the highest DPS melee weapon with some of the best potential cards, and it allows us to store our angle height, which we cannot do with the other two weapons. Now, might be thinking,
Time to set a battle plan.
is there any faster way we could possibly select a chapter? Any answer is yes and no. Something you can do whenever starting chapters is if you press W, Shift, F all at the same time, you should end up on the other side of the table around here with the
Man,
chapter
you is
select
always
menu
ruining the game,
still
am I right?
up.
You're so full of shit, Cartman. Our games do always
Something
get messed up with the
around
new kids involved.
this. On
Let's pick who
this.
you're gonna brutalize today.
Like this, yes. And you'd select whatever chapter you want to go to here. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna go to chapter 1.
Hi there, new kid.
But now, let's talk about why Heart and Gravity Bomb are the most optimal powers to have here in the run. And also, why is there a weird display counter at the bottom of my screen? The display counter on my screen is actually a speedrun tool to help me see invisible walls, shapes, triggers, general information about a character, and simplified areas of things to do. The tutorial on how to install this will be down in the description. But let's talk about some things you can do with Fart Escape now. So, a good way of demonstrating this is right here. Whenever you use Fart Escape during a grab animation, it actually will give the next thing you grab collision. And a good example of this is this Koopa Keep sign, which actually does not have any collision. However, whenever you do this, Fart Escape into when ledge grabbing, you'll notice it actually has collision for a moment. And why this happens, really don't know, but it's really weird. Now I'm going to go over here and talk to Butters. This isn't actually important for anything, I just want to find a card that's really good. Hold on. Gravity boost here. This is what a maxed out gravity boost card should look like. Is a 250% faster movement speed when attached. The reason why this is so important will be explained later.
I know it can be kind of intimidating when we're running the trap, but someone's
Well, yes, the card you get in the middle of Airhunt is complete RNG. It is also very important to the time you get. Now, let's talk about the most optimal perks, which is the last thing I need to cover. We believe that this path here is the optimal perks, as it gives you the less stamina with sprinting, the fastest movement speed, you escape from grabs fast, you have a higher chance of faster RNG, along with faster ledge climbs, and you move 200% faster on ice. And you can stop without sliding. Now, this range, this path here, you want to take this for maximum damage. And in case you're curious why you skip this, is because your range jumps really are not all too useful throughout the run. And we can skip this node, so we might as well start the run with some extra toilet paper and just generally increase our chances of getting better cards throughout the run. Cosmetics don't matter towards the run at all. They're just for fun. Let's begin into chapter 1.
Living fuck out of cows many
Alright,
times as you want here. This is a safe space.
we have now started chapter 1, and this is where the timing for the run would officially begin. As at the very moment we hit start run, you would start whatever your button is, or let the auto splitter do its job. During that fade into black there, we can press space, then hold escape to skip that cutscene instantly.
Begin your selection.
Now, using the tutorial from the cheat engine I'd highly recommend practicing this, at least in terms of practice, but in a real run, it would not be allowed. So, you want to just remember to scan for your initial value. This is for practice reasons, not actual real runs. But in a situation like this, if you were to get it in a real run, you'd very much want Hurricane, as this is a card that allows you to move faster, and you'd also want
Time to
Moon
match it up,
Jump,
folks. You guys are so fucked.
as these are two very good cards for movement,
Where'd you get
and
those?
these are
We're
just
ready for you. Nature's growth. Wild
Hurricane does
resurrection.
more damage, Moon
No
Jump must
hygiene.
move faster,
That's
higher.
OP.
However, these enemies' cards
Process works.
are not very good. Well, I mean that in a bad way. Reanimate is always a card that hurts to see whenever in a real, because this allows dead enemies to come back to life, and super size does not matter in the slightest bit. If you have our perks unlocked and get Wiper Inflation, it just makes everything go to normal price. You really don't have to worry too much.
Can you believe it? Let's find his house
So,
and find out what Kyle's hiding.
You start
I'll show
by
that
doing your
difference.
movement
How are we
here
supposed to do anything in all this snow?
to get to this first objective. If you don't have the Hurricane, the other fastest method of movement would be to roll while waiting for this little green indicator that would end up being about right here to finish rolling. Hold sprint during that, and as soon as it releases, as soon as you see that little green bar disappear, let go of shift, and your character should automatically roll.
I'll get. Look alive, new kid. Here come the elves.
That, with our 100% faster ledge crimes, we can instantly get up these. Now, the reason we want to get up these so fast is because there is actually a trigger sitting right here. This trigger
Before they ruin the game again.
spawns in this top wave of enemies and despawns the bottom one. And because of this, we only have to kill this top wave of enemies. After killing about, I believe, 7 enemies up top, I believe you should win, and you should
Great
be
job,
able
new
to
kid. Now loot
progress.
their corpses and let's get moving.
From here,
What do you think?
go ahead, talk over to Jimmy, and grab whatever you think is good. You can also reshuffle here if you want to, but in this case, I'd absolutely recommend
one? Great.
taking Gravity Ball Freeze Explosion.
That's a pretty sweet card. Don't fuck it up.
Here, just hold W and roll. From here, you will now either enter the hill or the cleft. If you get the hill, like I just did, you would want to start by going off up here, waiting until you see this line of trees, roll in, open this treasure, and get a foil card. While you don't have to do this,
Look at those
I
elves
would
over there,
heavily
just
recommend
waiting to get
doing
their
it,
asses kicked.
as it will make your card a higher level, and it is just nice to have.
Look out for archers when
From
you're
here,
playing in that
just
mud,
try
new
to
kid.
kill these kids as fast as you can, with only one real strat for this mission.
Reinforcements.
There will always be a huge group of enemies here that you can either just use first with your axe, or you can set them all on fire with a wand. Usually just do one exception. I'd say using the wand is probably more worth it, as it will light them all on fire. They'll all die of fire damage while you're dealing with other enemies. Super size, like the enemies just played as an bullshit card, is not in the slightest bit of an issue at all. It does not increase their HP, only their size. It actually makes them easier to deal with. But do be careful whenever you have these speedrun tools on, as the game will definitely lag more, especially whenever you have show shapes. For some reason, show shapes lags the game a lot. Whenever you see enemies doing this weird little run, this actually means enemies are retreating. And from here, this is usually your indication to just run straight to the end of whatever combat arena you're in, and go to talk to Jimmy or Henrietta. In this instance here, it's Henrietta, but on rare occasions, sometimes she just won't spawn here, and you can run straight to the end.
Here's what
From
fate
here,
has in
choose your
store.
upgrade, and whatever upgrade you think is best.
More power, always good.
From here, continue to roll forwards. Now, here's another piece of tech I want to talk about, even though so far it has not proven useful anywhere in the run. So, what this is here is an out of bounds push zone. This pushes us from going out of bounds. But we can actually use this by jumping into it and pausing the game. Now, the longer we keep our game paused, the further of a launch we will get,
It's a cannon. You can break
as this actually constantly builds up speed, and will either and if you are paused long enough, you can actually get an insane amount of vertical momentum shown by insert image on screen now. However, in order to get this amount of vertical momentum, you have to be sitting here with your game paused for around 5 minutes. And doing this pause to launch is overall slower than just running down to the checkpoint trigger. From here, there are a multitude of spawns you can get. Usually the ideal spawns is you want the keys to spawn over here so that you can run across the ice, get a huge boost, and jump straight into the trigger. You gotta be careful of the collision around all of this here, as it can and will get in the way. However, the gas did spawn in the ideal spot, as this should give you a really easy ambush and a super fast ambush to deal with in order to get the gas can. Now, just for the sake of this video, I will be using a cheated version of the bullshit cards, and I will be scanning for those gradually, but time to show off what Moon Jump does, as this is one of the most important bullshit cards in the whole speedrun.
Food's not ready yet, kid.
So, it allows you to move faster whenever just simply sprinting. And while not a huge difference, it does allow you to run faster. It also allows you to run forever, even when used in combat. Another thing this can do is if you use it while doing your angle storage, you will get an additional height boost out of it. And while you can do a height boost here, at this specific spot, chapter 1, it's not really useful, as all you get out of it is you get a foil card, and I would heavily argue that's really not worth doing. But if you have Moon Jump, after getting keys here, if you got ideal spawns, you could simply just jump up here and hit this catapult and launch into the gas. But the usual order runners do it is they get keys to gas, so therefore I will show it tutorial this way. Okay. Sorry for the random pauses, by the way. That is me scanning for the bullshit card value and cheat engine. Now I'm gonna set it to something ridiculously high. As such, I did just now. Also, during that fade in to this cutscene, that's another area you can hold escape during the fade in and skip the cutscene. However, this ambush here is slow. Hence why having your keys spawn here is slow. But if you get this area, what you do, start off by killing some enemies here,
there could be some sweet stuff in those cargo containers. Check them out.
For the keys. What I'd highly recommend doing is using a fart here.
Check behind the train station for the keys.
Just jumping
Elves hide their
over
treasure in plain sight. Because tanker truck keys, sweet.
Once
now we just
you
need
grab
gas.
these keys,
All
enemies
right,
can no
gas.
longer instantly spawn. You jump over, instantly get all these guys.
Bullshit!
Hope enemies don't play bullshit card, especially reanimate.
So these guys are all still alive.
Not gonna work.
But reanimate's an annoying card, as it makes enemies invincible for about 5 to 10 seconds, which is the same effect enemies can have on one of their normal cards called Nuh-Uh. which makes enemies invincible anywhere
It's
between
fucking Earth
5 to
magic. Stay
10
out of their thorn
seconds
zones, new kid.
at the start of combat.
Stop it. You dare.
Sometimes it's 5 seconds, sometimes it's 10, but usually it's somewhere in the middle.
Attack. Rah.
You need to take out the healer. Fight the
Sorry
new
about the
kid.
coffin. But once you hear this little music change,
Suck on this.
this
What
is
are
your
you waiting
indication
for?
to know enemies
What?
have spawned
Ow,
up here.
What? Ugh. Ow. I'll shoot
And now you want to
one.
run back and
No.
kill them.
Deny. Not the bow. Remember me.
Once
Oh,
you
no.
see these
No,
little
not
like
my
yellow
shield.
swords, this is always an indication that you're at the end of the fight.
I'm dead.
And now that the enemies are retreating, just go ahead, jump up, and make your way over to Jimmy.
Beware, brethren. The humans now bounce, I guess. Nice job derailing those elves.
From here, just go ahead, grab whatever card. I've actually been getting ridiculously lucky. And there is
pretty
an
good.
ultra legendary vortex.
See ya.
Having a vortex, a last stand, and a hurricane is usually the ideal
Damn
cards
it, Carmen, are you gonna
that
fight
you'd
your own
want
battles or make the new kid do it for
that
You
for
can't
your
hide from us, Cap.
deck of cards here, as it not only maxes out your movement, but it also maxes out your attack damage. And if you can, you do want gravity boost as well
Gonna kick
for
every
more
point of your
movement.
asshole in your army.
From there, you'll spawn up there, take that launch, and you to launch yourself into this checkpoint trigger here. Unfortunately, this is a very slow ambush
Elven ambush.
that
Elves are
I've
known for
actually
their
not
trickery.
seen
Get 'em.
in forever.
Excuse me, there's a war going
I
on.
actually
Can
kind
we
of
get
don't remember
moving,
how
you
to
kid?
do this area, but I haven't seen it in so long.
Death from above.
But Vortex has the same effect as the gravity bomb, which actually has some vertical movement effect I will talk about later in the run, aka Chapter 2, as it is used for a skip in Chapter 2, but it is a skip that is not done in the run,
Damn it.
as
Damn
it's slower,
it.
but it's cool, so I'll show it anyways.
Bye.
And one thing I do remember about this fight, it's around 4 waves of enemies,
Here's a little old world magic for you.
and it sucks. Thankfully my game bugged out there, and 0 enemies respawn with reanimate.
Get
This is
behind the
actually
shield, guys. Come on.
incredibly lucky, and has never happened to me until now.
Ow.
I believe it's the 3rd wave of enemies, but there is a wave of enemies that will spawn over here at some point. I don't know when. I think, as I said, I think it's the 3rd wave. Not 100% sure. As usually if you get this area in chapter 1, you'd probably reset.
Ow. I see them. Ow, that sucks.
Hit again. Sorry about all that coughing.
Remember me.
Now, here's our introduction
tank can
to this
blow.
enemy called Ins.
Hark! The tree beards arrive.
These Ins are seen in this chapter, and then after this, they are not actually seen again until chapter 4.
No.
Once they are in chapter 4, they are actually infested with dark magic, which makes them a lot more annoying to deal with. In my personal opinion, at least, they're more annoying to deal with in chapter 4 than they are in this chapter.
Rock, I'm dead. Ow.
But this fight, I believe, will always have around 2 sets of hits
Rock. Ow.
on the last few phases of the fight. Now, because of our upgrades, we can absolutely shred these ends with our absolutely insane damage. And if for these assassins, if you don't like dealing with them, you can gravity bomb them and just use your axe to deal with them the easy way. It's usually just better than trying to fight them as intended.
Hey, save your teammate, asshole!
Now, because we are on our final wave with very few enemies, here you'd want to just go find the last enemies, take them out, which thankfully they're all grouped up together right here, and now go loot through the gate.
Pick up that loot and let's get back to fighting the elves.
Once you have the gas
Probably more
and the
archers
keys
nearby. Elves
collected,
travel in pack.
which I don't actually have the gas collected yet, I still need to get it. No, because I cheated in a bunch of bullshit cards, I'll just use the jump. For this fight here, you actually don't have to take out anyone except for this gas can guy. Once you take out the gas can guy, just go ahead and make your way down the
Sweet, we got the
cave
gas can and the keys.
over
Get
here.
back to the frozen pond and rescue Stan's dad so we can
Once
find
here,
Kyle.
take out the enemies within the cave.
Prepare yourselves, elves.
As these are actually the only enemies in this area you have to take out, and usually the
This is
enemies
why
up there
I'm king of the elves.
will just locate inside the cave and makes them a lot easier to deal with,
Oh, damn it! I thought it was
as
real
they're
different.
just grouped up together.
That hurt. Ouch.
At far range like that, you can use your wand and really not lose any time for using it
Wow.
in terms of combat. But yeah, so not all, they don't always follow
Stop it.
you in.
Yes, I'm dead.
So it could be nice to kill them as intended,
Okay, I'm
but they are currently retreating. So once they
I was
retreat or
spelunky.
you kill them all, go up here, talk to Jimmy, grab whatever upgrade you want. I'm personally going to reshuffle
Sure, we
so
can
I can
change
get
your
a
fate.
better card. Usually Endless Anchor is actually pretty good,
I'm rooting for you.
as you generate more piss off, which can allow you to use more gravity bombs. And
You shouldn't be
just
attacking
get
us, human. We
far
didn't start the
escapes
endless
for certain
winter.
skips
This
faster.
is like level 8, which your wizard king commands
Start-
you to
go
start the
ahead
goddamn truck already.
And
Open
put
your...
in the gas, the keys, and skip the cutscene. Down here, don't instantly try to skip, as if you do, you'll end up pausing the game.
Finally, you did it! Under my
But during
guidance.
that fade in,
This is the
if
end for
you
you.
are in the late half, you can skip that cutscene
They're
instantly.
taking the high ground, dumbass!
Starting this fight, 3 enemies will always appear right in front of you, and 1 here.
Damn it. Damn it.
And sometimes
doing my
during this
job.
fight, you actually can see this end do a super jump onto the UFO. So there's no purpose, it's just really funny. But I'd recommend taking care of the ant, making your way over here. So you get the enemies grouped up on top
They're
of
coming
here.
from the UFO! Looks like an
Now
alien
go back
spaceship
over to
crash
the
landed in
UFO.
the park. I bet their alien bodies are all frozen. Elves are
Grab
eternal.
the enemies over here. And you should be on the final wave. For once here, an ant will spawn on the low ground. Several enemies will spawn up above.
The only amount of snow can stop the grill master.
While very few enemies spawn up above, I'd recommend usually going down to the bottom to instantly start taking care of this ant, along with some of the other enemies. Just be sure not to miss your swings on the ant like I'm doing here. And fun fact, the ants are actually some of the reason we used to get turrets down here for this fight.
Holy shit, I can't believe
Take
you
out
survived
this
that.
last enemy and make your way up to this locked gate.
See that
Once here,
class?
go
I think the
ahead,
elves came from there, which means
grab
that
your
must be
treasure
where Kyle's base is.
and
Head in
your
there,
foil
new
gate,
kid. Behold, several
and
wonderful choices.
you see it. Now that I have gravity boost, this is actually a pretty good
One upgrade coming
time
up.
to showcase
Excellent
this.
selection.
As
Did you know
gravity
dragons
bomb
don't eat
is
paladins?
very
Apparently they
useful
taste
for
blood.
bosses and just general movement. If you get gravity boost, it allows you to do things like this. Get a huge momentum boost across the arena. And if you pair this with Hurricane, you get some absolutely ridiculous momentum. And you can keep pairing that with Boom Jump, Ice. Boom Jump, Ice, Shoot Gravity Boom, Gravity Bomb,
You're approaching the Elven Glade.
and
Get ready. This is
a
the heart of the
Hurricane
forest. Kyle
are
will be
some
in
of the
his full power.
fast, is believed to be, is what I believe, is theorized to be the fastest form of movement. Starting this Kyle fight, I'm going to go ahead and skip the cutscene. I believe he always instantly teleports here, but sometimes, if you're lucky, you can pull him out with a
The
gravity
lane
bomb
itself will help us kick your ass.
and do this. Once here, you want to go ahead, gravity bomb him, swing, charge it up, and keep stun locking him like
Don't
this.
see your fat ass out here, Carmen, so shut the hell up. The elves will not stand for this.
Using this gravity bomb method, Kyle should be stun locked and go down easily. Once you're in the spade, go ahead, hold escape again, but if you do see your mouse, you know your game's paused, so go ahead and hit escape again. Once here, go ahead, make your way over,
Gee whiz, player one.
and
You picked up a bunch
fun
of dark
fact,
matter. High five, then.
while you're in this victory screen, you don't actually have to wait for it to press proceed. Whenever you're in that, I'd actually recommend spamming escape, as it will automatically ready you up even through all the extra menus. Now that we're done with chapter 1,
Well.
go ahead, skip this cutscene. Go ahead, move over here to Cartman.
It's
And
not fair.
this
Elves should be able
chapter,
to
it
regenerate
is
near
very
trees.
important you
Now,
have
Kyle,
hard
any
escape
rule changes are for the
and
trial.
gravity bombs. But now that you have these, let's go ahead and start chapter 2. Just remember, fastest possible form, starting chapters, WSF, W shift F, so that you move forwards, you roll, while being in this chapter select screen. So go ahead, start chapter 2, and make your way over into this travel gate. Now that we're in chapter 2, we want to go ahead and do what we did first chapter. During this fade
Your
in,
bullshit
go
rules aren't
ahead,
gonna save you,
press
Cartman.
space,
Soon we'll be playing by my
and
rules.
fade.
You're the
And
one
skip
whipping
the
out the
fade in.
banned spells. Pick your
Skip the
cards.
cutscene while it's still fading in. From here, pick whatever card you want, or reshuffle
Your rules are
if you
broken,
don't
Cartman. Everyone will be
have
happy
any
when we're
good
playing by my
cards.
rules. Pretty easy to talk big when you're breaking rules and stuff.
Here, I'd recommend take Gravity Boost, and this is arguably the most important
Okay, lay
chapter
down
to
your
have
cards.
Moon Jump,
Check this out.
as Moon Jump is
Heck yeah,
used for
Moochie.
several strats
It's something
in
to
this
beef up our
chapter,
gravity bombs.
as arguably
cards, dipshit.
this is the most broken
These'll
chapter
show you.
in the game.
Laser swords. Cursed arms. Healthy living. Draining ass wipe. Okay,
While
kid,
we're waiting
whatever.
for the enemies
Yeah,
to
this is gonna
play
be
their
an easy
cards
win.
here. Also, wait 1 second. About 4 seconds
What the
after
fuck?
Stan lays down that plus 10 axe, go ahead, press space, and hold escape to skip that cutscene. From here, you should enter into one of 5 sub areas. Usually, what you'd want is a tiny little enclosed area with a cube that you have to defend for 30 seconds. As whenever this is you get this one, you only have to defend it for 30 seconds, keeping enemies out. Now, I also will be doing what I did first chapter, gradually stopping over the way to explain things while I also scan for values in Cheat Engine. And before going on to this, I do want to talk about something here that could be used for a theoretical, but has not yet proven useful anywhere. As there is a possibility
What do we say in the North
of
Marsh Walkers?
using
If it flies, it
this
dies.
area here for a skip. As you can actually go out of bounds here, and it's surprisingly not all that difficult to do compared to some of the other out of bounds glitches at least that we did, or that could be possibly used. This out of bounds is definitely on the easier side.
Oh, jump on
But
this, dicks.
once you're up, you can really only climb the ladder because all these other rocks will just send you slope down. Will just send you going back down. This is where a bunch of issues come into play right at the start here, actually. As we probably could skip to the final ambush, but the issue is actually getting there.
You know, now the
without
first grader's only
falling
option
out.
is to swing for your nuts.
But
It's a Marshwalker ambush!
go ahead, make your way up here to the ambush, and try to just
Drop
clear
the
out the
ball.
enemies as fast as you can. And
Rah.
I would highly recommend not using moon jump in combat,
I'm dead.
as it makes jumping around in combat and just overall making combat very weird.
Rah.
Just remember to probably use an axe and a spin at the highest speed possible.
You're wasting your time.
Once enough enemies have spawned, once you've killed enough enemies have spawned, there should be around 4
Fragile cargo,
blazers in
man.
the back here
Ow.
to spawn. And now another glitch you
Can't
do
touch me.
with these guys
Stop it.
that I've actually yet to cover.
Hey, save your
is
teammate,
launching.
asshole!
You won't see me coming.
If you can time it right, if you fart before one of those blows up, you can actually launch. However, do remember the timing on this is actually incredibly difficult
You got me.
and possibly patched by now,
Quit it.
but it is something that is possible on older patches. And if you would like to play any of the older patches, I have a down patch tutorial linked in the
I
description.
can have a do-over. Aha! No!
So from here, just remember to kill enemies, and if you really don't want to deal with assassins, just remember you can gravity bomb them and they can't escape.
Aye.
And with gravity boost, you can drag these guys with you instead of having to stay in one spot in order to kill them. Another easy way of dealing with assassins is just using the wand.
Ow!
If you can't deal with one fucking archer, maybe you could get a friend who can.
Now, here,
Oh!
the
You'll
main
pay
thing
for
that
that.
sucks about this is the 6th graders and how there's 2 of them.
Ugh.
As they
That
will
was a
ram into
bad
you,
choice,
doing
Worthy.
quite a bit of damage. But if they do ram into you, grab you,
I thought it was
just
you that-
remember that through our perks,
just
you
hit
can escape out of their
Gonna
grabs
break your knees,
90%
Worthy.
faster,
Cut you.
Player one?
which
All better
you
now.
can pretty much
Suck on
means
this.
you can escape from a 6th grader's grab in
You'll
one
pay for that.
play.
Wah.
Or
Taking
one
out their
button
feet.
press depending on if you're playing on
That
a
was a
keyboard and
bad
mouse
choice,
or a
Worthy.
controller.
Aim for their feet.
Try to stay out of the purple goo,
I'm gonna
as
break
this
your
actually
face.
adds gross out to your character. It makes you lose health and possibly get stun bombs.
Ow. Ugh.
But unfortunately, due to
Going for
bad
their
luck,
knees.
the 6th graders, which are already the most HP out of any enemy in this game,
Aye.
have about 30% more due to the cards that the enemies played. And if you do get too low on HP, not a worry, as with these upgrades, enemies should be dropping cheesy foods
No,
quite a
you
bit,
got me. Here I come.
and you can use these for any additional heals in case you get too low.
That.
Ow.
I will smash your knees.
Fucking fourthies.
But the best way of dealing with 6th graders
Did you
is
just hit
gravity bomb
me?
them. Use your axe spin. Once that, go ahead, gravity bomb them again, and just keep doing that cycle.
I'm coming for
Gravity
you,
bomb,
kid.
spin,
Watch out!
gravity bomb,
No!
spin.
Surprise! Ah! Oh, damn! I'm out!
Okay, this dude's all the way back here for some reason. Just not doing anything.
Excited. Hurts, don't it?
Interesting.
Ah!
Once you're done with this first ambush, there's another ambush right after. You want to go over here, pick this block. Just remember, to our perks, we have that ice skating movement. During this one, I believe you want to go over here to this side and get up immediately. There should be if you were fast
This
enough,
tank could
there
blow.
should automatically be enemies grouped together where you can start going, spinning, and dealing DPS quickly.
Couldn't block it!
If you need to,
There.
go ahead, use the gravity bomb.
Eat this!
To group them all together and deal damage.
Ow, what? That's stupid.
Now, do keep in mind, during any fight, enemies can
This
play
card says your
bullshit
weapons
card,
all rust in the northern storm, so
and
suck it.
unfortunately, they play Noodle, which makes my melee weapons useless, pretty much make me resort
It's
to
hot.
wand, which is a fairly low DPS solution, but does damage over time due to fire or
The
burn.
fire's burning.
And while you can get cards to increase the damage of your wand, such as Fire Elemental,
Ugh. Oh, nuts. Ooh. That's from above. Quit it. Ha 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 ha.
after clearing out some more enemies here, go ahead. You want to always take out Necromancers first on the way. I didn't mention
Ow.
that.
Eat. Ow.
And don't even try bothering attacking whenever noodled, as it will only deal 1 damage. And the timer on noodled sadly lasts a while, so it is very annoying when it happens.
I'm just doing my job.
Now, the second wave of enemies we found, you want to find where they all spawn and try to group them together.
Eat.
And another thing, be careful. Enemies can interrupt your gravity bomb animation. If they do this, it's not the biggest issue in the world, but it is a bit of an annoyance.
I thought it would feel different. Run! It's a trap! Aye.
Go ahead, deal with these assassins the easy way of just gravity bombing them, and then using the wand for some DPS if
Tried, but maybe
any of these would hit.
Great job, new kid. Gather
Now,
your spoils
once
of
you see
victory
the
and get
stick
going.
string that says victory, just skate your way down the ice.
I see
and
you survived
come
another
back
fight.
to Jimmy. From here, grab whatever card you think is best, or if you don't care for any of them, go ahead and
How do
reshuffle.
these look?
I got pretty lucky here. Got an ultra legendary vortex, which I will
See
be
ya.
taking for the sake of making this easier for myself to record. Once you enter Main Street, just go ahead and move forwards. And this cutscene trigger can be avoided, but it is not useful in any way, shape, or form, as this trigger is pretty wide, and skipping it quite literally does nothing.
Cool, I guess you'll just
You
die in
can't
midair.
walk past it, as there's other invisible walls in the way, and this cutscene trigger lasts all the way until about the end of this building. So, even if I wasn't
Find
right
Stan
here,
and smash his army.
I'd still activate the cutscene,
Good luck. You're gonna need
which
it.
sucks.
If you touch the ground, you'll die for real this time. I'm
From
serious.
here,
My
you
wizard
do
magic needs a
you
long
want to go
rest and
ahead and
recharge,
take
and
this
I've only had like
catapult,
an hour-long
or
nap.
if you want to be
Okay,
swag,
good. Well, don't
just
scare
go
me.
ahead
Let's
and
be
do
like
angle storage off of that vent. Let's talk about the first skip chapter now, which is done on these rooftops.
Shit, the next roof is too hot.
It
That
starts
catapult has
by
a lock
making
on
your
it.
way to this
We'll have to
final
fight to
roof
move forward.
and making your way over here. Make your way to the top of this arena, and with the speedrun tool active, for practice reasons, turn on invisible walls, go to the edge of this platform, and use a fart escape. Try to angle your camera over until you're past the invisible wall, and climb onto this roof. If there are enemies up here, I'd recommend taking them out for ease. Make your way to the other side of this, do another fart escape, and once you notice that your character's kind of over the catapult, start turning your camera to go to the rooftop over here. This skips the need to do any of the combat over on that roof, and allows us to make our way over here
Great, keep moving
immediately
across the
into the
rooftops.
next skip, and if you have hurry, which can be done several ways. The first one I'm going to show
They
is
fucking
the
broke the
fastest
catapult?
way
We
to
need that to
use
get
mid
across.
jump and
Well,
time
actually,
a
I
jump
think that there was a
right
turbo
as
set.
you're on the edge
No,
of
it's
the
not, Butters,
platform.
because it's not all dumb and
It is
French.
kind of a tight
We need
timing,
something stretchy and
so
rubbery to
definitely
make a
do
new
get
sling.
used to
Good
it,
looking, new kid.
as it is not an easy jump to make. If you do want to make this really easy though, go ahead and just fart on over. However, this farting over is slower as slower movement, slower descent, and
player
more
one.
likely to
You
get
almost
hit
had me.
with doing it.
Oh, nuts.
From here, go ahead and try to clear out this
I
rooftop
can't touch this.
using the gravity bomb and whatever upgrades you have available.
Thanks. I needed a break.
And I'd highly recommend just ignoring
break your
the
knee,
6th
They're
grader
They're douchebags
on this
with arrows
rooftop
that shouldn't be hard.
and just getting
Come,
on tiny
reinforcements.
little enemies.
Wah! Taking out their feet.
Do be careful on this rooftop though, there are a lot of
Ow,
enemies.
what? You're not
And
getting
not
me.
only that, but
Try again.
definitely
Forky.
also get the necromancers, but I recommend
kid,
leaving
jump
the
down.
6th graders for last, as they have the most HP, they take the longest to kill, and you can just also be quite a bit of an annoyance. If you need to, you can go ahead and destroy some of these for some XP, and maybe some extra toilet paper to help you for better RNG.
That
From
was
here,
quite the detour.
jump off the
Ready for an
roof,
upgrade?
come over here and talk to Timmy, and grab
How
whatever
about
card you want or need. For this, for the sake of the upcoming boss fight, I'm gonna grab
Wonderful
the
choice.
freeze.
I'm rooting for you.
And if you want, you can run back over here and come and talk to
Oh,
Henrietta
thanks for picking that,
for
instead of like a scary
for
card.
possibly upgrading all
A
your cards
3-card
or getting
spread.
your bullshit cards back.
Oh yeah, that's powerful.
But if you do talk to Henrietta, I'd
Remember,
always recommend raising the level of your upgrade cards by 1.
the real power comes from inside.
From here, run back on over to Jimmy. And go ahead and activate the next area. From here, there are
You're lucky I'm
several
here.
things
Not every day
I'm
you get to
going
see
to
the Grand Wizard in
showcase.
combat.
The first thing I'm going to show off is how to get to the Princess Kitty boss fight without doing either of these upcoming 2 fights. However, this is slower, but it does look very cool. We start off by activating Moon Jump and swinging our way up these and trying to land on this telephone wire. Landing on this is not always the easiest thing in the world. Once you're here, go ahead and kind of back off this platform and store your angle. Try to land on top of this invisible wall. Now, landing on top of this invisible wall is also another thing that's not always the easiest to do, as it is very high and placed kind of weirdly. From here, follow my movement. Stay along the invisible walls until you get to about here, or then you want to, because we have the gravity boost card, this actually allows us to do something I'm yet to talk about, which is gain vertical momentum. However, the timing on this can be a little weird sometimes, as you want to, whenever you deploy it, you want to wait for the gravity bomb to be at the lowest possible point it can be, and then jump backwards onto it. The timing on this is very weird and not always the greatest. And do be careful, as whenever you do this, you can very well and very easily fall out of bounds. And if you do, there's no getting back in, which sucks. But once you're out here, just be very careful of not falling in. Okay, now that I'm back up on top of this invisible wall, I'd like to show off the rest of the skip and how we do it. We start off by throwing the gravity bomb, waiting for it to be rideable. not falling off of it would be nice. And unfortunately, because I fell off, I do gotta go build up some rage. But this is the other time. Good time to talk about the other possible method of doing this. As this first fight here is entirely skippable by just simply going up onto this and doing
They have
angle storage
defenses already. See, this is
and
why
going
Stan
up
is
over
annoying
the
as shit.
fish. It's very easy to skip, and there are other ways if you don't like doing it like that. Such as you can go up here and do a hard escape to land on top of this. The other method is you go onto these little pillars here and just jump right on over. And then you'd go and do this fight. This fight's pretty self-explanatory, if I'm being honest. It's pretty much just kill enemy fast. Usually the way you want to do that, you want to try to keep enemies like grouped towards the back of the arena, is how I'd recommend doing that fight. But also another thing, Last Stand is also a very good card, because if you have Last Stand, that means the lower your HP, the more damage you do. And whenever you're really low, that could be a super OP card.
No, I'm no hero. I'm just one man, cleaning up the streets by hand.
Now that we're back up on top of this invisible wall, we ride the gravity bomb. And we get on top of these invisible walls. From here, we want to make our way up.
You need to take out the healer.
Also, turning off the invisible walls here does look really cool, as it looks like you're just walking on the sky. It looks very cool, my personal opinion. But once we're here, we're gonna eventually make our way over to an invisible little roof here. But if you're like me, don't have enough rage to jump over it, you can just run around it instead. But eventually, you'll want to land on this pile of stuff. However, I don't actually have enough rage to do this strat, so I'll showcase what it would look like instead via a YouTube video and a tutorial that should be automatically linked to be sent whenever he jumps down. But from here, I'm gonna go back ahead and do this fight as intended, as it is faster. So I figured might as well show it off, since it is the faster strat to do anyways. If I can find one real quick, actually, I'd like to show off another glitch discovered by Toxic Pinhead. What happens here is you want to grab a cannonball and get pushed up against an invisible wall. From here, jump, grab it at the same time, and then let go. And you should very slowly, gradually, gain height using this method. Just be careful not to mess up the timing, as doing this, you lose height faster than you gain it. And this is slow, but is very funny and kind of useful if you need to heal in terms of a speedrun and have the healing totem equipped. But now that we're back over here in this fight, want to be very careful with necromancers in this fight, and usually try to get them first, as they'll be grouped with other enemies most of the time.
I'm
They
strong.
don't have all that much RP, and they're just all around far better to deal with. However, because I have the last stand, I'm gonna try to take some purposeful damage and get some, just so I can deal more damage. And do keep in mind, it is not much damage to effects with this card to come into play, as seen there. Goofy
Our
Trap,
rogues put bombs in your
thankfully,
inventory during
is
your
a
last
card
long rest.
you can possibly use for glitches, but is kind of inconsistent.
Ouch, that hurt.
Do be very careful whenever
Hurts, don't
this
it?
fight, as it's
Oh,
very
fudge.
easy to accidentally, like overshoot your
Take
momentum.
that.
Come reinforcements!
Yep, you got it.
And once you start seeing these yellow
Stop
guys,
it.
markers on these guys for the first time,
Did you just hit?
Stan's gonna call reinforcements.
Oh,
Thankfully,
nuts.
there are not all too many,
Yes.
and usually
You'll
they'll
pay
just
for
be on
that.
the ice and
When
ignore the
is your
6th
next
grader,
round?
as
Ready
he
for the big
takes
fight?
too long to
You'll
kill.
want an upgrade.
From here, go ahead, grab whatever card you want, as this card
Interesting
can
choice.
make or break the fight. I got lucky, got a hurricane
Excellent
for
selection.
some extra damage, which I
Try not to die,
and this
that would be
also
embarrassing.
makes me move faster, if you remember from chapter 1. Now, because I have all these old cards ultra legendary because I cheated and a bunch of toilet paper, I should be doing a lot of damage. From here, go ahead,
Can
just
I
make your
play
way
again?
on over to the Princess Kenny fight,
New kid,
which
you're no
the
match for my
trigger for this starting this fight is under that little pavilion, and once there will be like a very abrupt period. Just go ahead, hold escape there and then.
Oh,
Start off
shit.
this fight
Princess
by
Kenny
instantly
working
throwing a
with
gravity bomb,
Uh-oh.
grabbing
That charming
Princess
son of a
Kenny,
bitch is gonna try and
charging
stop
a
us.
spin
Big kitty,
attack
they such a
for
kid,
some
dude.
damage.
I'm out of here.
Once you try to gravity bomb Princess Kenny again, as this keeps her actually stun locked and unable to do any of her attacks, where she roams around the arena. And mixed with these cards I have, this actually adds for some very, very fast damage. Don't skip that cutscene
It
too
didn't have to be
early,
like this.
as you will
Damn it.
actually end up pausing the game instead of skipping it, which can be undone by just simply unpausing. But go ahead, make your way to the back of this little area after the Princess Kenny boss fight, and hop right on in to the end level trigger.
That's a ton of
Where
dirt
during
there.
this,
A real impressive load.
go ahead, press escape as early as you get, as soon as you get here. Wait for this loading screen.
Good job, new kid. Princess Kenny
Yeah.
toyed with all our hearts.
You're back
Others
in
will
the
chronicle
home
how
room.
her defeat was totally cool. Now load
From
out
here?
and get back out there.
Run back over to Cartman by doing the
Kenny,
holy shift strategy for fast rolling. Roll across the table and start chapter 3. Now with us being in chapter 3, as per usual, we're going to go ahead and start the run. However, this chapter has no intro cutscene, so you hop straight into the cards and don't have to skip
You might as well
anything
give up now. There's
additional.
no way you'll complete the test of strength. Says
From
the
here,
asshole
Go
sending the
ahead
princess to
and
fight for him.
choose whatever card you want. Me personally, I don't think any of these are worth it. I'm gonna reshuffle.
You really think you can
focus
take on
on
the test
cards.
of strength? Good luck. Kicking your ass is gonna feel so good.
Some very good cards in this chapter.
Time to match 'em up,
As
folks.
for the first
Okay,
two,
ready?
consist of
Moochie.
Moon Jump and other
It's something to
movement
beef up
cards
our gravity
such as
bombs.
Hurricane,
Sure, whatever. Can we
Gravity
fight now?
Boost,
These'll show you.
and
Shield bubbles.
some damage
Weapon
cards.
nullifier. Blocking blast. European style. Okay, kid, whatever.
Go ahead,
That
wait
wasn't that
for the
better than just
enemies
arguing all day.
to play their cards. Once here, go ahead, turn
Okay,
your
Butter
camera
said if you
to
pass the
the
same
left
test as Stan did, you'll
and
be able to power
start
yourself up. So
rolling
get on it, new
towards
kid.
this start rolling towards this first little area. Now,
Five, huh?
this is actually very ideal getting the fetch quests here, as this is actually why we wanted moon jump. I'll go ahead and explain it real quick. But moon jump here actually allows us to
Hey, oh, thanks for picking
move
that,
around
instead of like a scary
faster
card.
whenever transporting the items. Whenever we're transporting these items,
This is where Stan
moon
completed
jump
one of the
just
tests of
allows us
strength.
to move
Go
around
talk to his Uncle
a
Jimbo.
lot
He
faster.
can tell you what to do.
This added movement bonus is actually very nice to have, if I'm being honest, as it just makes this whole arena far,
What do we say in the
far
North Mark Walkers?
easier.
If it flies, it dies.
And if you have good luck, you can get items to
You know
spawn
what
close
desperate,
to you.
stupid people want? NFTs. Now go find me some.
Now, if you get a rooftop spawn like I did here, go ahead, make your way on over to this rooftop by doing this set of jumps with blue jump. Go ahead, grab this, jump at the same time you grab the barrels, and try to land up onto this
Gonna
little
break
ledge
your and keep running,
here.
Fourthy.
Try to do this without getting hit by a 6th grader, as if you have moon jump active, he will send you flying off of this road. If he does, it's not a huge deal.
Taking out their
Just go
feet.
ahead, go back up, and grab the barrel of NFTs again, and make your way over on past here, and fast. A fast way of moving around with these NFTs is press F then shift if you don't have any moon jump currently at the time.
Anyway,
Now,
kid. Now,
during this
here's the next
cutscene,
thing I
it does
need you to
start
buy.
kind of abruptly,
Need you to
but you do want to skip it. And as I have said, it starts very abruptly. But now that the
Cool, I guess you'll just die in midair.
box is back behind here, this is actually
that kid's
probably
definitely
the
got an
easiest of the
advantage.
transports, as you just want to go grab the box and follow the default path. As this is overall just the fastest way of getting back,
I'm counting on you to get.
and after doing that, there should be one more thing that you have to get. And again, this cutscene starts very abruptly, and you want to go ahead and skip it as soon as you possibly can. Go on over, grab whatever item it may be,
That tickles.
activate moon jump before you
Oh,
grab
jump
it,
on this, dicks.
and go ahead and make your way on back over here to Ted and Jimbo. Be very careful, as around here there will be a 6th grader that spawns, but you can very fortunately run
Thanks for
right
helping
past
me,
him,
kid. And
deliver
for
the
your
last
reward,
item,
you can use
and
my
stand in front of this porta
anytime you
potty
want.
and
You're
spam it.
We have some good kids in this town.
Well, I guess that counts. You've completed the test. A little.
Spamming F here guarantees that you will interact with the porta potty as fast as you can,
Thanks,
triggering the next objective. Once you're,
Those
go
adults are
ahead,
getting pretty
talk to
desperate.
Jimmy,
Better get you an upgrade.
grab whatever upgrade card you
Yes, a
can,
fine upgrade.
hold
rooting for you.
of you with the roll to the left. You should end up around there, and then just hold D.
The Forgotten Lands are the realm of the Sith.
Now,
The Marsh Walker
time for
what's
the
meant.
port
So you
back.
just need to steal the 6th grader
This
shit
is
and get out?
ideal.
Okay, they're not
This
even
is
here.
what you never want to get in a run, as it's slow, and it's
Of course.
incredibly
6th graders
annoying
treasure nothing more than
in
their point.
later parts of it.
Forthy, bring out
Grab the
double.
item
You come here
and
for
go
a
ahead,
coin,
skip the
Forthy, you
cutscene,
won't leave here alive.
immediately start
What is
rolling
that?
forwards.
Are those flames? Okay, you need to get moving right fucking now. That is a
Go
death
ahead,
plow, new kid.
hit this jump pad,
Taste propane, Forthy.
find whatever enemy is up here on this middle part,
I thought it would
take them
feel
out,
different.
and just go ahead, keep trying to find whatever enemies are nearby.
Quit it.
I'd recommend taking out this guy here. Now make your way on over to the shield guys here at the door.
Ah! That's stupid.
Unlock the gate, go to the next area. In this area, don't fight the 6th graders. 6th grader takes too much time and will most likely get you killed if you decide to fight him.
I'm dead.
Take out all these little enemies if you want to get past this relatively quickly.
You can't run from this, Fortnite!
Ow! No!
Once you see, eventually, I believe, after 12, 13 kills here, you see these little yellow markers appear. Take out one little kid and get these guys over here next to the door. These guys will always
If I was
appear
there, I
over
wouldn't let
here
myself get my ass
to the
kicked by
door.
some gaylords holding up little pieces of metal. I mean, that's
And
just
once
me.
you kill them, the gates should unlock, and you progress to the next area. From here, go ahead, end up right here, throw a gravity bomb up and escape in. Unfortunately for me, they just keep kind of stun locking me. As seen there, they just kind of keep stun locking me. Try to kill these enemies as fast as you can, but these enemies are being a little dumb right now. And if you need to, there are a bunch of heals in this arena that you can use in case if you just keep getting screwed over. Which, yeah, this arena is very incredibly annoying. And I've actually barely killed anyone, and this truck's actually got to catch up to where I'm at. As this card the enemies have right
Well,
now
guess you're gonna die
makes
here.
shield guys very annoying to deal with.
Remember me.
If there's an enemy like this, I'd recommend seizing one and trying to get up.
Look at that big magnet.
But now that we're in the
Looks
last
like it's powered
area,
by those generators.
the generators will now spawn in random spots. What I recommend doing on these generators is just gravity bombing the enemies and turning off the generator after the gravity bomb has landed.
No! We've got
As
to force
this
these to crush.
pretty much ensures
Fix it.
that none of the enemies
sorry, sounds
will
like
do
they still wanna
anything
kill you.
weird and prevent you from turning off the generator. As seen there, as at least in solo, the enemies love to do this. This isn't as bad of an issue in co-op, but in solo, it's really annoying. As they really seem to only attack you the moment you decide you want to turn on the generator.
I'm cut bad.
Now, go ahead, throw your gravity ball, get the enemies out of the way, turn on this last generator, and the enemies will automatically start retreating. Skip the cutscene,
Oh, wow, you did it.
and this,
I thought Carmen was going to have
after
to blame me
skipping
for
this
someone dead
cutscene,
again.
you will
You did
always
it.
be
Yes.
looking the
Suck
wrong
on that,
direction.
traders.
Go
That
ahead,
was
turn your
close. Take
camera
5 in the porta potty, new kid. You earned
and
it.
spam interact on the porta potty. Go ahead, hold D and roll, or here to Jimmy, and
I've got some good stuff for you.
interact with him. From here, go ahead, grab whatever card you think is the best.
See ya.
Hold W and roll by spamming shift, and we should make it to East Main Street. From here,
did it.
I
Lucky
don't
you,
have
you
moon
wouldn't,
jump
but I believe
or
you.
fart
All
escape,
right. Now go find
but
Stan
there
and
is a
kick his
backup
ass.
to the skip I'm
Stan's going to
showing
be sorry he
here.
ever challenged me.
What we do is we get up onto this little area here, the snow. We grab this tiny little bar, get on top of this while trying to stay on top
Stan's at
of
the
it.
playground. We have to take
Grab
out his sentries in the theater
grab
first.
here, and we should end up on top of this theater pretty quick. From here, go ahead, take out this top row of enemies without dying like I almost just did there, because of these very annoying enemy cards that they have right now.
Oh, nuts.
If you need to, don't forget, cheesy poofs do exist, and they can heal you. As well as your allies' healing totems. Don't feel the need to rush if you're low HP.
Ow.
If you're too low HP,
Damn it. I thought it would feel different.
definitely stay back and heal.
Stop it.
Alright, from here, go ahead, take off the
I'm gonna take a
necromancer,
break.
This tank could blow.
and do be very well aware of these enemies. They will
I see
fling
them.
stuff at you from across the entire arena. And yes, it gets about as annoying as it sounds,
I see the new kid.
especially as well as the shockwave card, the shield enemies. the axe. It gets very annoying. Now,
When is
once
your next
we
run?
pick this
Almost there,
lock,
new kid.
go
We're
ahead,
so close
drop
to
on down,
Oh, any cheesy boots in there?
and go over to the right here. Hit this catapult, and we're about to do an upcoming skip.
Canadian duo of all time.
However, this one is a little random, but it is pretty lenient. We want to start on over by heading to this pillar here by the door, aiming our camera around here, pressing shift, then E, and we should clip right through the wall. Doing this allows us to make our way right on over to these cannons.
We're gonna need to blast through
So,
the ice to get to Stan. Find a
break
cannonball.
through.
Careful, fellas.
Now,
Stan's
the
got
optical
cannons, too.
cannonball grab here, grab this back,
Ha! The Marshwalkers just
Cannonball.
made a way out.
go on over,
Whoa, nice
and if
shot.
you're looking
Just
at
a few
this,
more and
you
you're
can
in.
start immediately firing as soon as you put the cannonball in. Here, grab the cannonball under here, and do the same thing.
One more cannon hit and you're in.
If you need to, do feel free to take the time to make sure it's lined up. Go ahead, take the third
Retreat to
cannon
the playground,
and shoot
Marshwalkers.
the ice.
Ha! That playground
Roll
is
your
as good
way
as ours.
on over to Jimmy here, and grab his foil card.
Behold, several wonderful choices.
Grab whatever card you think is the best, or if
pretty
you
good.
absolutely need to, you can go ahead
I
and
bid thee
reshuffle. Hold W and roll.
What do you call a changeling
Hit
posing
this
as an elf? An
hit
elf.
this little loading zone here. Here, this should bring us to the Stan boss fight. This is arguably
Hey,
the
no
most
kid. You're
annoying
dead.
boss fight
Ha!
in the whole game, as Stan will,
Damn it,
and
you need to
without
figure out how to hit
remorse,
Stan.
and without remorse at all, he will break out of your stun lock. From here, find 3 cannonballs, hopefully all in
Damn
the
it.
spot,
Good job, new kid. That'll
and
do,
bring
Stan.
them
His
over
cannonballs
to the
will be loaded with
cannons.
your cannons too.
You're going down, you blazing roar.
Now, the more players you have,
You
the
got
more
it.
times
Do
you
it
do
again.
have to shoot
You might have completed
shield,
the test of strength, but it won't be enough.
and the more times you have to shoot a shield, the worse. Now,
Eat
you
this!
have to be very careful whenever shooting a shield, as he has a tendency to just completely dodge the cannonball.
We need some healers
From
in
here,
here.
start this phase.
Take this.
Start this phase by using
I'll
a
have to just
gravity
beat you
bomb,
myself.
and
Player
go
one.
ahead
That
and
was close.
use a gravity bomb.
Ah!
However, this is where the annoyance of Stan kicks in,
Honorable
as
Marshwalker,
if he
got you
breaks
down.
out of it, there's no getting him back in. It's incredibly difficult to get
damn.
him back in,
We need clerics.
and he does a
Taste
lot
my
of damage. If Stan breaks out of
You
that
wanna fight?
initial
I'll give
stun
you a
lock,
fight.
doesn't matter
Yeah.
even if you use gravity
Yeah.
boost, he will
Here I
not
come.
get back into the stun lock at all. And the first chance you have is whenever you get him down to half health,
With my axe in hand, I can't lose. Run from this.
if you need to, there is a set of 3 heals over here on the side that you can use for some easy heals.
You can't hide from my axe.
Stan!
Once he's half health, go ahead, skip the cutscene,
This is. I'm
and
cutting
try
you
to
down.
stun lock him again, as this
Fuck
is the
him up,
first chance
Stan.
you'll get.
Dad.
However, he's gonna refuse to cooperate and
I
just
got you.
not do it.
Yeah, these kids are
As I
relentless,
said,
huh? Stan,
This
you
is
have to sacrifice
arguably
your life for
the
toilet
worst
paper.
boss fight in the
I'll
run.
tell tales of your bravery.
And sometimes
Now, my
he
son,
just
fight to the end.
refuses to get
Fight
stun
for the
locked.
64-pack of extra soft from Costco.
Dodge this. Ah, just give up now, new kid. There's no way you
It's
can win.
very annoying when he does, because he
Whoa, what is this
attacks
do?
very
It's not
frantically,
gonna work.
very randomly,
Player one.
and
Now stack
there's
fire and keep
just
still.
it's just very
Ah.
annoying to deal with.
Player one. Don't worry,
And he
just
does
keep
a lot of
this.
damage
You did the
as
right
well.
thing.
Even on easy, he does a lot of damage.
Take this.
Usually, if you can, you want to try to keep him cornered,
Here I come.
but it is not always the easiest thing in the world. So I don't blame you if you struggle. to
Just
keep
give up now,
cornered.
new. Taste my axe.
Oh, player one.
Stan just
Dad, go
loves
away,
to
this is
dash
my fight.
around, and he does have the axe spin attack.
No one's getting this toilet
as
paper.
new game. This
There you
is actually
are.
a fight.
Ow,
You
shit.
unlock
In
axe
the honor of
throw.
all marsh walkers, I will defeat you.
Once he's down, wait for the fade out to end.
Please, do whatever you want.
Skip the cutscene. Now, from here, go ahead, turn around, and make your way on
Gee
over to
whiz,
this
Playroom.
gate while
You picked up a
spamming
bunch of dirt
escape
there. High five, buddy.
in the gate to get through this victory screen as fast as possible. Now, from here, there's a cutscene.
It's over. You
Go ahead, skip it. This leads us into chapter 4. The arguably second most broken chapter
Yeah,
in
it's
the
really
run.
coming down.
Don't
Did
forget,
you guys learn
you
Japanese?
can do the fast movement here and start the run a lot faster if you'd like to. Now that we're in chapter 4, as per usual, as we've done with the first 3 chapters before this, you want to go ahead and start the run and skip the intro cutscene during this fade to black.
Well, I don't really appreciate tardiness, but the trial must go on. There's no do-overs, so think real carefully about your cards. All right, well, let's pick some
From
cards.
here, go ahead
Well,
and
they
choose
better get
any
here
card
soon,
you want,
Captain
or if you absolutely have to, you can go
All right,
ahead
well,
and
let's pick some cards.
reshuffle.
Well, there ought to be a rule for showing up late, I tell you.
Here, now go ahead and choose your bullshit card and whatever one you might get. Ideally, you don't want Moon Jump for this chapter, as it does make one trick a little bit easier, but it's not the biggest issue in the world if you don't get it. And if you don't get it, I'd recommend taking Meteor Storm. If you don't get Meteor Storm or Moon Jump, you might as well just not use bullshit this chapter
So
and just
what did you
choose the
guys
right
pick?
one.
Here we go. Yes, lasers. Good choice. We're sure to win now. And then this snow day will finally be over and we can all go back to school.
Go ahead, skip the cutscene after
Behold the might
finishes
of the
his
Grand
dialogue
Wizard.
here.
Do over.
Wait for
Swords.
him to play his cards.
Allied invisibility.
Sadly, he did
medics,
get
healing
reanimated,
powers.
but
Suck
it's
my
not the end of the
balls.
world. Once his dialogue there is done, go ahead and skip the cutscene again. Make your way on over here to this cutscene trigger, which also starts the fight over here. Don't get too close to this house, as you actually can't take this corner very sharp for some odd reason, as there is a wall,
Oh, geez. Did everyone switch to... Look at their
and
eyes.
it's weird that it's there,
Dark
but
matter?
it's not the end of
Oh,
the
now
world.
that is bullshit.
Here, go ahead,
Be
make
careful,
your way
the
on
rest is on the roof,
the
you'll
back of the arena.
Careful, that mud can get a little
Loading
sticky.
it. Get to the back end first.
Don't let Carmen get
Go
away.
ahead, take out
He's
these
gotta be here
back row
somewhere.
enemies, and eventually the other enemies should make their way on over to you. If you absolutely have to, just remember, you can use the gravity bomb to group up enemies and get a lot more enemies down a lot faster. I'd highly recommend doing picking up before the end and getting the blast. From here, just kill the enemies that fall from the ends, as it is 3 enemies back to 1. Kill the kids here, and now make your way up all to the front, assuming more enemies haven't already made their way to you. Just good again, just remember, you can move enemies with gravity bomb, but I'd actually highly recommend going here and the ice sniper first. The ice snipers are a bit of an annoyance here in the little section at the end. While not the biggest issue, they are just a little annoying, as they will run right back to their post if they are knocked off, and proceed to keep sniping you. And there actually is an invisible wall right here, but he cannot shoot through it. So you can fight enemies right here in this little section of combat, and he can't hit you, because this sniper cannot go through these walls. They target you, but he actually cannot hit you. Once these ice snipers are dead, missed them, go ahead, make your way on over to these shield enemies here, and these guys. Then, now you should get indicators that you're near the combat. Go ahead and take out the last enemies and make your way on over to the loft. Now that we have finished this little first area, there is actually a skin you can do. Where if you have the gravity boost card, you want to go ahead and ride it up onto this invisible wall here. It is a very thin invisible wall, and it is very hard to stay on top of, but it allows you to skip this up right here. And if you absolutely need to, Henrietta is back here, and you can talk to Henrietta for other card you need. I'd highly recommend raising
You
the
should
level
thank your
of your
guides
upgrade
for that
cards by
one.
1.
That was exhausting.
Hey, new kid.
Here, go ahead into this fight.
Carmen's army is totally
And
covered in
there
dark
will
matter.
always
There's no
be
telling how strong they are.
enemies down here. So, go ahead, get this group of enemies. Make your way on up to the top here, either party or using the collision here on the side to jump up. Once you're up here, go ahead, these two enemies here as they closely together. And eventually, I believe this dude should run over to you. And just go ahead, kill him if you want while jumping down. Getting the enemies back down here in case of reanimate. From here, just make your way onto this tunnel. All enemies should spawn. Just try to group them all together. Use the gravity bomb if needed. Also, if you didn't grab it, you can go ahead and jump up on here and get the foil card up here. But if you were here earlier, I'd recommend just coming back here, rolling, grabbing the foil card like that. Now that we're at the back of the arena, some more enemies should spawn. Eventually, they'll make their way over to you. Usually up here, go ahead, just take them out. They're not insanely difficult enemies to deal with. But once they're all dead, pick the lock.
It's not too
and
late to
make your
surrender,
way
new
here.
kid. You can just go
There
home,
should
go enjoy your life
usually
without your
always be
ski.
a group of enemies around here, or if they get too far together, you can just use gravity bomb and get them together. Doing that should get these guys to the yellow. This is actually why you want to make your way back here, so the tiny little group of enemies should appear out of this little cavern here. Two assassins from up there. Just remember, gravity bomb is the best way of dealing with assassins, as it's one of the only attacks they actually escape. From here, go ahead and talk to Jimmy.
Check out what I'm packing.
Grab whatever card you may need. If you have to, go ahead and
How about
reshuffle.
these?
Keep in mind, as long as you have the TP, you can
Here, try
keep
these on the side.
reshuffling. And hopefully, get a
Wonderful
good
choice.
card.
Good luck with the rest of your journey.
From here, we'll enter into Main Street.
Hey, we're back at Main
And this
Street.
area
Sure feels
is a bit
different
of
without
a
Stan
yes
trying to act
dropper
murderous.
on lower hardware. But here,
Oh,
just
God
make your way
damn
to
it.
the
He's
back
got
of the arena
necromancers.
first,
Necromancers.
and work
We
your way
banned those ages
backwards.
ago. They're full. Don't listen to those guys, new kid. You can walk away from this.
The reason we're going to the back of the arena first is actually to spawn in all the enemies at once, just so it's a little bit easier to manage crowd control. Once all these enemies are spawned in, I'd recommend going back on this truck and on this building to get the one enemy that spawns over here. And yes, it is only one enemy. While other enemies can follow you up here, it's usually not too common, and is not a big worry. From here, there should be a huge horde of enemies grouped together. You can go ahead, use the gravity bomb, come on now. And just proceed on with the combat as usual. Just try to take out the enemies as fast as you can, while keeping them in a crowd for the fastest possible damage per second using the axe. Gravity boost is a very, very helpful card for crowd control, because the gravity bomb actually helps attach to you, and it doesn't go in random direction. So so therefore it is a little easier to crowd control your attacks. It is especially useful for assassins such as these. You can move towards other enemies while still dealing damage to the ones you are attached to. Another fairly easy way of dealing with enemies in this game, or the assassin specific, is to use the wand. However, it is slow. From here, they might play a bullshit card, and this is where reanimate really sucks, as this is gonna respawn around 18 enemies. These enemies are all still pretty loud. Looking at that. These enemies are all still vulnerable for around 5 to 10 seconds after combat starts. It's very annoying, and you are likely to get to very low HP here, and just try not to die. There are heals around the enemy. There are heals around the arena you can get, but they are not too common. This fight here is a pain on a difficulty. No one likes this fight, no one ever will.
All better now?
Especially with reanimate. This fight is especially bad whenever the enemy plays reanimate. Because not only do a huge number of enemies respawn, they're also invulnerable for 5 to 10 seconds. I believe I'm gonna die here, but if I do die, I'll just go ahead, cut the tutorial here, and just cut to the back of the arena. Yeah, thankfully I didn't die, but that was very close. Go ahead, make your way back over here to
Necromancers,
Jimmy,
huh? How about an upgrade to raise your spirits?
and just go ahead, grab whatever card you may need. I'd highly recommend getting Gassy Glider if you
Sounds pretty
can,
good.
as it's incredibly useful for helping
Good luck out there.
skip. Go ahead, roll forwards, and enter the next area.
I think you're closing in on Eric.
Go
Hope
ahead,
you're ready.
skip the cutscene, and get ready for the scariest trick in the whole run. Or, if you have Gassy Glider, you can go ahead and get on top of this little bar
There's
here,
Cartman. You're doing it
and
again,
do
new
a
kid. You're
fart
ruining the
over
game.
here,
Don't try and
get
blame
on
the new
top
kid for
of
your
this
stupid shit,
invisible
Cartman.
wall.
After him.
From here, do another fart escape onto this little crevice in the roof. From here, go ahead and do either a third fart or jump. This triggers this combat arena. And from here, go ahead and kill all the enemies.
Poor player one.
If you get
You can do
down, it
anything
is
you want
not
down there,
too big
except
of an
keep playing.
issue,
That's
as
not allowed.
usually either the co-op partners or the AI revive you. The AI are not always the most reliable, but sometimes they will revive you. And you are invulnerable for around 5 seconds after getting revived. But once you do this skip, do be careful of going forward to this little corner here. As if you actually do, you trigger the cutscene and you soft lock. However, in the world, as you actually can get one of the adults to grab you through the gate and bring you back through it. It's not the greatest backup, but it's pretty much the only backup to this soft lock happening. It sucks, but it's just how it is. Now, assuming that you are back through this little area, which I'm not, I did have to do a cut so I can get back here. I'm gonna go ahead and clear out these enemies. You can stop fighting these enemies once the gates back here open.
How dare you oppose the Grand Wizard?
The way you know when the gates open is there's a music cue, or you can watch them open. Usually I'd just go with the music cue. There also is sometimes a weird bug that can happen. It happened to me there. Not very common though. There's sometimes for bullshit card plays you don't have access to your weapon until like a certain event happens. But that's the music cue I was talking about there. That's the indication that the gates have opened. From here, you can just go ahead and ignore this and just make your way back here. Clear the enemies out through here while being very cautious that your frame rate doesn't drop too low. Because this area here is a bit of a frame rate dropper. Here, I'd recommend taking out the ice snipers first, then working your way down to the assassins in the snow. These assassins are a bit annoying as they are in the snow, and sadly, down here, gravity bomb does not work. As if you throw the gravity bomb down here, it will instantly explode. Yeah, these assassins can be a bit annoying with how unpredictable they are, but you'll know. But once you kill them, go ahead, make your way on up to Jimmy. Select the card. Reshuffle if you need to, or if you absolutely have to. This is actually a great RNG right here. That's actually insane. You can go ahead and just reshuffle.
Excellent selection. See ya.
Once you're done talking to Jimmy, go ahead and hold up in the roll. Should end up about here. Or if you'd absolutely like to, you can just keep holding forwards. And I believe you should hit the edge of the loading zone. From here, you are in the final area of Chapter 4. From here, you can either go through this little fight here and do this area as intended, or you can do the actually kind of difficult area skip here to instantly make your way forward Cartman. Do keep in mind, getting out of bounds is easy, but hitting the trigger from out here is anything but. Once you start up your fart escape, you want to descend through the snow. Eventually, you should get low enough to a point where you should be clipping through it. You want to try to make your way towards these rocks here, and try to locate the bottom side to the start of the Cartman fight. Once under, go ahead, make your way over here. Believe eventually you should hit the trigger. It is a bit of a tight place where you need to go, but you should eventually hit it. Believe it's somewhere around here. This skips having to do the fight before this area and instantly lands you over to the Cartman boss fight. From here, go ahead, start off the fight by throwing a gravity bomb and using whatever main attacks you may have on Cartman. If he enters this bubble shield phase, don't use your gravity bomb, or else his gravity gets insanely weird and he starts bouncing around all over the place. Once he's in this phase, just try to find just hope you get lucky like I did there and instantly find Cartman. Go ahead, keep trying to attack Cartman, and eventually, once he's done enough damage, hit again, he'll go back into another one of these phases, where I believe here he will always play Noodle, and you have to use your wand to find him. From here, just try to use your wand, assuming you don't take fire damage, or if you absolutely have to, go ahead and use bullshit cards such as Meteor Storm or Radioactive Goo. Eventually he should die, and now the department is defeated, and you have successfully ended Chapter 4. Go ahead, skip the cutscene, and keep rolling forwards until you hit this
You picked up a bunch of dark matter. High
tape
five,
here.
baby.
Once in the victory screen, go ahead, press escape, and you should instantly ready up. And now that we're done with the chapter, go ahead, skip this cutscene, make your way back over to Cartman, and get ready to start the final chapter of the game. Assuming you can do the fast movement here to select chapters, go ahead and start chapter 5. Now, there are a few things I want to mention with chapter 5 before we actually fully start it. With it being the last chapter of the game, it is probably the scariest one, as this is where your run can either die or is a guaranteed PB. This chapter, while it has no RNG on where the locations you can end up being at are, which is actually very nice, as the locations will always be the same in this chapter. It is very common to get, at least in good PvP runs, it seems to be very common to get reanimate during chapter 5. This has happened in several PBs and world records across this game, and it always seems to be in chapter 5. Now, keep in mind, this is not me saying that this chapter is just a bad luck farm. It is very much not. But it is a bit scary of a chapter, with it being the final chapter, and it also being just an overall scary chapter. Let's go ahead, make our way into chapter 5 here, and I'll talk about it more. Now that we're here in chapter 5, this is the very last time this game, or at least this speedrun, we're gonna have to hit start run. The game will fade to black, and you'll go ahead and skip this initial cutscene during that fade to black.
Now think carefully about what you pick. You'll be playing these rules for a while.
Here,
Don't
go
you
ahead,
children read the
grab
Bible?
whatever card you may
Leviticus
need.
2. And yay, Jesus took a crap.
Leviticus number 2.
A good
That's
bullshit
kinda
card
real
for
too.
this chapter is
What do you
Moonjump,
got, Jellies?
but it's really
Okay, ready?
just for one trick.
Fuck yeah, Moonshine! And a boost to our axe.
It's
Perhaps you children
just
will
like
have a chance.
mostly for like
Lo,
3
here's
strats
the
this
promise
chapter.
God hath granted. Doused or weakened.
And I will mention, this chapter is completely vanilla. There is
The Lord's
not
favor.
any skips
It won't help.
this chapter.
We going to hell? Hey, new kid, don't believe what Mr. Hanky said about...
Now go ahead, skip both of these cutscenes here. Now make your way to the front of the hospital, or if you absolutely want to, you can go ahead and climb your way up these rocks here and go and talk to Henrietta. It's not at all worth it, but if you want to, you can do it, as Henrietta is just right over there. Usually, she's right over there. If she's not over here, I believe the other location she could be is over here on this side after making some jumps. But the first strat this chapter actually comes up right away, because if you have Moonjump, you can go ahead and do an axe angle storage around here with Moonjump active to get up above this little ledge here. Do keep in mind, it's a tiny ledge you have to do it with. It is a also kind of weird location to grab. Or if you don't want to do that, you can do a Moonjump off the top of the ambulance car. You can run around this side with the emergency and just make your way past this fight normally. Or you can build up enough rage to get a fart over here and just fart your way up. I'd highly recommend either just running around that way or using a Moonjump from on top of the ambulance. Farting is probably the second slowest way. The actual slowest way is running around to get to this fight. But this first fight here is actually optional, and we can just make our way over here. The way I'd recommend doing this fight is come back to the start of the hospital here. This is where all the enemies are at, and assuming that you don't have they should all be relatively grouped up and ready to be killed. Do keep in mind, with it being such a tiny area, you are very prone to having attacks come from all directions, getting different status effects applied, so and so on and so forth. If you need to, go ahead, gravity bomb for some crowd control. And just try to go through this combat room as normal. Do be very careful of your health, as there is not many heals in this arena. In fact, I think there's only around 3 heals in the arena total. There's not many. So do be very cautious with your HP here. And just try to take out these guys as fast as you can, if possible.
All better now?
Once you hear this music cue, I believe this is your indication that some more enemies have spawned out of this hole down here, where you can now go ahead, make your way back up, and try to take them out as fast as you can. Once you see these yellow indicators, just remember that does mean you're in the fight. Go take out the last of the enemies, choose a card from Jimmy, from where now you can do one of 2 movements. Go ahead, if you need to, you can reshuffle,
How about these?
or you can just grab whatever card you may need. From here, this elevator will open, and you can go ahead and just climb up these. The other way of possibly doing this is, if you don't go and talk to Jimmy, skip a card, you can make your way back here and do a fart up, and I believe the enemies should also spawn that way. From here, go ahead, take out whatever enemies may be left. If I can find any. I'm struggling to find any enemies at all. Oh, weird. Their AI seems to be like bugging
Dickhead,
out.
your buddy is getting jockeyed.
Weird. There is a bunch of assassins that spawn here, so do be careful of that. Just remember, gravity bomb is by far the easiest way of dealing with assassins, as it's the only escape, it's the only attack assassins cannot escape from. Fight the rest of the enemies. Go ahead, fight the rest of the enemies. And eventually this elevator should open up. I believe you actually don't have to fight the enemies and it's dumb. You do want to keep making your way to the top though, by chaining several fart escapes. Go ahead and make your way back here. Eventually, you should reach this little area here. Go ahead, start off this fight by taking out this ice sniper here. He will start running after a while, but I'd still recommend taking him out first. Once you've taken out this ice sniper, go ahead, fall on down, and just take out these enemies from here. There will always be a 6th critter that spawns right out of that hole there. And if you get just go ahead, deal with the other enemies here first, as they actually spawn in 4th, 6th grader, and should not be invincible. Here, I'd also recommend going up here and getting the ice sniper. So just just not having to worry about the ice sniper just makes this fight a lot easier, and just is overall nice to not have to worry about getting sniped. You can't use a gravity bomb for some crowd control in this fight here, and I'd highly recommend doing it. This fight is good on heals in case you get like too low on HP or anything. So you shouldn't have to worry about getting like too low on HP during this fight. Fortunately for this fight, you do have to take out every single enemy that spawns. This isn't as bad with Gravity Bomb, Vortex, or any just damage buff cards, as enemies will go down faster, and it's easier to keep them in a crowd. And sometimes this bullshit bug can happen, where they keep playing bullshit cards for quite a while, and sometimes even infinitely. Hopefully, it's a bit of an annoying time loss. It's not the end of the world. And that bullshit bug does seem to be the most common in this chapter. But go ahead, take out the last of these enemies, and make your way up to these catapults here.
Everyone in South Park will do whatever I tell them, just for a hit of my sweet
Keep making your way up
Christmas
these catapults, and come over here, talk to Jimmy. Reshuffle a unit card, or grab any card you may need. But for this fight, I'd actually highly recommend, a weapon such as maybe Suck Ass, as farting pulls enemies inward, which would kill the pooplets at the end of this chapter a lot quicker. But at the same time, Vortex and Axe also does that pretty well as well. And Fart Escape probably doesn't do it anywhere near as well, but it does do the job. I'd recommend taking out this top row of enemies first before doing the bottom enemies, but do it however you like. It is a combat game, and try not to get cornered, which isn't always the easiest thing in the world, as these adults do love to stun lock. If they get a chance, they will love to stun lock you. As the adults have no chill. They will soft lock you, and they will hit you out of attack. The only one they can't hit you out of is the gravity bomb. So gravity bombing is by far the easiest way of dealing with adults. Here, just keep trying to kill the adults, as they're by far the worst enemies, and I just recommend taking them out first before doing that. Eventually, these doors should open, revealing 2 shielded enemies. Go ahead, take these guys out, and I believe this fight should be done. From here, go ahead, make your way over to this loading gate here. If you need to, you can collect some extra heals out of that chest, as we're getting ready for the final boss fight in the run. Skip this cutscene and instantly use your wand to get the fastest attack on Hanky triggering this cutscene. Go ahead, skip this cutscene again, and now we are in the final boss fight of the run. There will be a loading screen, and now go ahead, skip the cutscene again, and we are now in the final boss fight of the run. From here, try and locate whatever toilet paper may be the closest. Find it, and load it into the cannon. Here, you can go ahead, shoot Mr. Hanky, dealing some damage. And it is not uncommon for your game to drop lots of FPS here, as it's a very intensive section. But go ahead, grab whatever toilet paper is the closest, and load it into the nearest cannon. I believe it takes believe it takes around 5 cannons, or 4 cannons worth of toilet paper to get Mr. Hanky down. And if you are right in the middle of all these effects, that's where your FPS drops the lowest. Once he's low enough, Mr. Hanky will enter a separate phase, or if you're actually quick enough, I don't think he goes into it at all. But this is the phase I'm talking about, where he goes into this, and you just have to dodge his attacks from down on the ground. Eventually he will make his way back up to the surface. It might take a while, but he eventually will. Whenever it's just one circle right in the middle, this is the indication that Mr. Hanky is coming back up, and you can go ahead, load the cannon, and take down Mr. Hanky. Skip this cutscene, and now go ahead, turn right behind you, and go into this loading zone with whatever fastest movement tech you might have, and you have successfully ended the run once you hit that loading zone. Congratulations, you have successfully finished learning South Park Snow Day. I hope to see you doing speedruns.
And toilet paper is once again just
Maybe even set some new world records. If you
if
did enjoy this tutorial, I'd highly recommend sharing it around with other friends that might possibly be interested in this game, leaving a like on the video, possibly subscribing, and just leave a comment asking for any help you need, or if needed, you can go ahead and join the South Park speedrunning community.
We all have to go.
It is very welcoming there,
Not that long ago, I prayed
and
to God.
they are incredibly helpful on whatever strat or skip you may need help with.
Isn't that bad, dude?
No,
These
no, it's
cutscenes
okay.
are optional,
We used
you
to
can
be a
choose
cut
to watch
man.
them or not. It doesn't matter because the run has already ended. Thank you for sticking around to learn South Park Snow Day. And if you did like this tutorial, just be sure to share, like, comment, subscribe, join the South Park community if you want some additional help with any speedrun skip or strat you maybe need some help with. I hope to see you all there. Bye bye.